right? If you lay these out one on top of each other, they're pretty well mirror images, right? But you switch out the main words there. Okay, good. Parallelism. The second one, we will not tire, we will not falter, and we will not fail. Good repetition. We will not, we will not. Good repetition. The third, of course, we should not demean our democracy with the politics of distraction, denial, and despair. What's it called? Good alliteration. Now, what's important here is the demean or democracy are not part of the alliteration, right? Why are these three part of the alliteration? What's the key word in the definition? They are in the. What's that?
They all start with D.
Yeah, but they're in sequence, right? They're in sequence. They follow one another.
Demean and democracy doesn't hurt.
It doesn't. I think it actually helps. Yeah. Beat their brains in with D words. It works. Okay. Rhythm of the speech. Let's look at language appropriateness. Making sure that the words we use are appropriate for the occasion, the audience, the topic, and the speaker. Have any of you ever heard somebody use a word that is not really a word?
All the
Yeah.
time.
Do you have any examples?
Ain't.
Okay, yeah, ain't really a word, right?
Charta.
Charta,
Yeah. CHARTA.
which means
They just made it to rhyme.
with,
I don't know the word. It needed to rhyme as it was. But
what's it mean? Is there a meaning?
he was gonna say chart.
Okay.
But he just used charta. But you still understand that it means chart, but it just sounds better when it says chart.
Okay.
Because it makes it rhyme in succession.
Okay. Anybody else have one? Wanna? Yeah. We'll talk, maybe it's in this chapter, maybe it's a different chapter. We look at our articulation and pronunciation and not pronouncing or articulating correctly. We run words together, like instead of one to two, it's wanna. But I mean, here, somebody makes up a word. Maybe they combine a couple words and.
People do that all the time, right? They do it a lot. It's called slang talk.
Yeah, slang talk, yeah.
Yeah, slang
Slang.
is a lot of words.
Yeah.
Made up.
Can you give me an example?
Town file, you know what I'm talking about? I used to know a lot of slang.
Okay, that's we're actually running a bunch of words together. Good actual words.
Nah, me.
Okay. What about
You bug.
y'all were seeing? I'm ashamed to say that I've seen this movie, but it's a great movie. Princess Bride.
Yes.
Okay. And there's a part of the movie where the guy's always saying a word. What's the word?
What?
The guy finally says, "I do not think that word means what you think it means." What's the word he says? Inconceivable. You're always saying inconceivable. That's actually a word, I believe. But the guy says, "I don't think that word means what you think it means." Well, I know somebody who puts two words together. What does it mean? If you say, "I am frustrated," what does that mean?
You're aggravated.
Okay, I'm aggravated,
You're irritated.
irritated.
Yeah. You don't know what to do. Like, you don't play.
Okay, you're on the right track here. But what is flustered? I think that's a little more what you're talking about, kind of going crazy, can't get things together. Okay, what is flustered?
Almost just really distracted.
Uh-huh.
Like you're aggravated to the point of distraction. You
Yeah.
can't think straight.
Yeah, and you're confused, and it's not making sense. Okay, two different things, right? We have kind of an aggravation and a confusion. Frustrated and flustered. My friend said I was frustrated. Frustrated. Frustrated is not a word. You know somebody who uses that? I heard you. Yeah, I do too. And now, as a friend, what I should say is, look, that's not really a word. I haven't yet. It can be hard to do. But if I were speaking in front of hundreds of people, and I said frustrated, let's think about my credibility for a moment. Where does it go, up or down?
Down.
Down. Right? Make sure my language is appropriate. It's not a bad word, right? But I've really tried to make up my own word. It's really not an accurate word. So making sure things are appropriate. So can we talk the other day about language being appropriate for the occasion, or the example I gave you about walking into a situation where you've got to really fire half of your workforce. Make sure it's appropriate for that. Make sure that what you say is appropriate for your audience. And the example we used the other day about saying I got gypped, that can really be offensive to certain people in an audience. And making sure that what you say, that you're confident will not offend any part of your audience. You do not want to alienate yourself from your audience. Again, the topic and the speaker, but this last one, why is it important that my language is appropriate to me if I'm the speaker, or you if you're the speaker? Okay? If I'm kind of speaking out of my league a little bit and I haven't done my homework and that's evident, that hurts my credibility, doesn't it? Good. What else? Why else is that important? Or what does it mean? Yeah. Yeah. Like we talked earlier, right? I'm a bluegrass fan, and people look at me and wouldn't think that, right? There are other people who would look at me, and if I tried to act like them, and I was really trying hard to be like that, they would be able to see that I wasn't.
Yeah, you fake.
Yeah. 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 I had some students, this was maybe 3 or 4 years ago now, but when school starts, people are happy to see each other, right? On campus, it's been the summer since they've seen each other, so they get back together. And sometimes there are new slang type words that come along and greetings that come along. And I love where my office is located because it's a big meeting place by the Coke machine. So all these people see each other for the first time, and I get to hear these. As a communication person, this is a lot of fun for me. So my door's open. 2 or 3 years ago, the big saying was people would see each other and say, "Hey, what it is?" Now I sit in my office and think, what does that mean? What it is? What does that mean? What does it mean? What it is?
Like, how are you doing, you know?
Okay. Well, why don't you say, how are you doing?
What up?
Okay, maybe what's up?
What it is. What it is.
What it is, but what
What's
is?
been going on?
Okay, so what's been going on, that's what it is, right?
Yeah, it's basically what it is.
What has been going on is, okay. Well, I get it. I mean, I understand. Okay, now let's imagine I was trying to speak to this group, to a group of college students who use that all the time. And I came in front of them and I said, "Hey, what it is?"
Yeah, 30.
Now, can you imagine? I mean, that's really not my lingo, right? And so but I'm trying to reach a particular audience. I'm trying hard, right? Now, identification, but there's kind of a line, right? We want to cross this line. And when we look at pronunciation and articulation later on, we'll talk about, now I wanted your opinion on, as far as ethically, how far is far enough but not too far to really change who you are in a presentation for a certain audience. And we'll look at that a little bit later. Making sure what you do is appropriate to you as a speaker. And lastly, being inclusive with your language. It's just the way it is in life, that if we are male or female, that we use corresponding type language in our conversation. It's really for teachers. If you start noticing with your teacher. I try to avoid this, but I still do it sometimes. If you have a female teacher, she will probably use feminine examples. That doesn't mean they're all about girly things. That's not what I mean. What I mean is that she'll talk about when she says, "Hey, Robin went to the store the other day. Susan did this. She this, she that." Well, a male teacher will use what? Good masculine examples, right? He did this. It was him, Tom, Jimmy. But if I'm a male teacher, which I am, and I'm halfway through the semester and all I've used are male references, and you're a female in the class, the class setting is a little different, but you might begin to think, this isn't about me, right? And that he doesn't care about me and us. It doesn't apply to us. So you have to be careful. Make sure it is inclusive. Don't leave people out based on gender and all these other things on here. We don't want to be demeaning. Even though we don't say rude things, if we leave people out, that can really be hurtful.